Hello, my name is Andrew Hare,
And I'm Ryan Basil.
and today we're going to show you a few of our favorite tips and tricks on the FamilySearch mobile app.
If you don't have it, go ahead and download the app. I want to start today by adding a memory to someone in my tree. Here I am in my pedigree. I'm going to find the person that I have a photo of, tap on the person, and underneath their name go to Memories. Here I can see any photos, stories, documents, or audio that have been added to this person. Adding a memory from your mobile device using the app is extremely convenient, considering that you can add directly from your phone's camera or microphone. And you can write stories about this person and add images using your phone's camera. If I wanted to add a photo of LaRose, I would tap this plus. I would go to add a photo. I could take a photo, but I actually have one already. And this photo would get uploaded just like that. It's that easy to add memories from the FamilySearch Tree app. Next up is a feature called My Contributions. If you're on an iPhone, you'll come down here to the More menu in the bottom right corner. On an Android phone, you'll go here. And once you're in the More menu, go ahead and tap on My Contributions. This is where you can find all the different things you've contributed over the past years, including sources, memories like photos, audio, and people that you've added. You can also see changes you've made and private people that you've added to your tree.
Okay, let me begin by saying the next two features that I'll be talking about are useful only if you have what we call a full tree. So you can see here that in my tree, this goes back to my great-grandparents and even beyond. And so again, these features are useful only if you have a full tree. So go ahead and add your ancestors back as far as you can. And I will show you how to add and attach record hints momentarily. But first, I wanted to talk about some options that are on this pedigree. In the lower right-hand corner, you'll see what looks like a settings icon. I'm going to go ahead and tap that. And you can see that I have some options here. The default is what you see here. You have an option of birth country, which colors these tiles based on where they were born. And as I expand out, those things should change and new countries will be added here. The other option that I wanted to talk about is sources. A source is like we also call it a record, and that includes things like census records and birth and death and marriage certificates. The more that your ancestors have of those things, the higher the quality of the information. And so as I go back, you'll see that some ancestors have many, some have few, and some even no sources. Same thing with stories, photos, and research helps here that you can look at and see kind of a bird's eye view of your pedigree. Another option here is what we call the fan chart. I'm going to go ahead and tap on that. And you can see I have it set to go back 7 generations. I can change that up to 7 generations. I've selected 7 here. For this demonstration, but I can change this again, same options, to birth country, sources, stories, photos, and you can kind of look and see, who has what and read about and discover new things about your ancestors or add to what is already there. The next feature I wanted to talk to you about is called Ancestors with Tasks. Now, this is the #1 feature used on the FamilySearch mobile app. People attaching what are called record hints. And now we've talked about what a record is. A record is a census or a birth or a death or marriage certificate, something like that. And a record hint means Family Search went out and found what they think is your ancestor inside one of these records. And so I'll show that to you. And the way you get there is on iOS, there's this thing at the bottom called tasks. And on Android, at the very top, there's three lines there. You'll tap that, and inside that, there's an item called Ancestors with Tasks. So let's go ahead and tap on that now. And here's that list of ancestors with tasks. I've got 42 in this case, and these are all of my ancestors. If I want, I can do a long press on one of these and get a relationship. Shows me how I'm related to this person. I'm going to just scroll down here a little bit to Ellen Bright, and I'm going to go ahead and tap on this blue icon. That blue icon just represents a record hint, meaning that, like I explained, that we've found some records with this person listed in it. And so in this record, which is a marriage certificate, we see that Ellen Bright, who's the daughter of Margaret Pearl Black and William Lemuel Parker, married Eli Lauritz Helg Hansen. And they were married in 1948 in Orange County, California. He was 48 at that time. She was 44. And we can go ahead and tap compare now that we've kind of gleaned some information from that. And right away, we're asked just one question: is this document a match for Ellen Bright in the tree? So here we have the family tree column, everything that's found in the family tree. And in this column, we have everything that's found in the document, in this case, the record, which is the marriage certificate. And in this document, Ellen is the mother of the bride. And so I'm going to scroll down here. And what I'm looking for is comparing names, dates, places, and relationships. And so you can see that William Lemuel Parker, in the tree, his name is actually William Lemma Parker. That's her spouse, and their child, Margaret Pearl Black. In the record, her name was Mara Parker Black. But let's go ahead and click on Margaret Pearl Parker to see if she married someone with the last name Black, because the birth dates are lining up there. So I'm just going to click or tap right here on Margaret Pearl Parker, and let's look at her spouses. And she did, in fact, marry a William Benton Black, and it looks like he passed away in 1942. So if I go back now, this is what appears to be a second marriage, because we saw just on the previous screen that, again, this happened in 1948. Her first husband passed away in 1942. So I'm going to go back in here and say, yes, I'm seeing these relationships line up. The names and dates are lining up. But you can see that we're missing from the tree the groom's family. Her second husband and his parents are not yet in the tree. So we're going to go ahead and type in here a reason statement, and that will be marriage certificate matches family members in the family tree. And I'm going to go ahead and hit yes, attach. And it tells me good work. I've added it to Ellen. Now there's other people in this record that we need to attach to the tree. So I'm going to go ahead and hit review others. And there's this really great animation that pushes all these people along the top, and I can scroll and jump to different people. You can see it's already attached to the mother of the bride. Next, let's jump to the father, William, and it carries over my reason statement here, and I can expand the spouse and children if I just want a reminder. But I'm going to go ahead and attach it to William. Margaret Pearl Parker, their daughter. It is also for her. You can see there's some things that are different here. We just point that out to call your attention to things that might be different, but we're going to go ahead and hit yes, attach. And here's where the groom is not yet in the tree. So I'm going to tap this add new person or find a match. And it asks me, okay, are any of these family members Eli Laritz, Helga Hansen, which none of those match up. So I'm going to do no match. And so it pre-fills the information in there for me. It tells from the record, we know when he was born in 1900, who his parents are, and who his spouse are, and it's going to create all those relationships for me. I actually noticed that in the record that I was looking at, it said Denmark. And in fact, let me just quickly go show you. I can tap right here to see an image of this. So I'm going to tap on that, and it will load. If I scroll to the bottom, I can click on this, tap on this image, and it will load a high resolution image of this. And if I zoom in here, this Eli Laritz Helg Hansen, you can see he is native of Denmark. So I now know where he was born. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to back out, and I'm going to say, I know that he was born in Denmark. So I'm going to go ahead and add that as his place of birth, Denmark. And go ahead and select that country from the drop down and hit continue. And it's going to say there's no match for that person in the family tree. So go ahead and add him to the pedigree, to the family tree now. And we're going to push over the marriage information from the record into his family tree person and hit attach for that. And now we're going to add his father. We only have his first name and last name. We don't have a birthplace for the father. These people are not Carl Hansen, so I'm going to hit no match. I'm going to say that he is deceased. We know that he is because his son was born just in the early 1900s, so he's going to be much older than that. So I'll hit continue and add, and I'll say, yes, let's attach it to him now. And his wife, the mother of the groom, let's go ahead and add her as well. She is none of these family members. I'm going to hit no match. Those names and dates don't match up to, it looks like Kirsty. And we also know that she's deceased. We don't know when or where she was born or died, but we'll go ahead and hit continue and add her to the tree. And that is SourceLinker. Like I said, this is far and away the #1 used feature of the FamilySearch app. Just adding, this is something you can quickly do while you're waiting in line at the grocery store or out and about. It's a quick thing you can do to quickly see, again, comparing names, dates, and relationships. And it's a great way to add new family members to the family tree. All right, the last thing that I wanted to show you is this feature called multiple screens. And you get there a little bit different on Android, but we'll go ahead and show that. But basically, you go to your settings, and that's here underneath the More menu on iOS. And I'll go ahead and tap Settings, and I'll scroll down. And you can see there's this option right here that says Enable Multiple Screens. I'm going to toggle that on and back out here, and you can see I'm presented with this bottom bar that allows me to add more screens. So I'm going to just hit that plus button right there, and it copies the current screen, which is really nice when I'm doing things like attaching records. If I'm in a task and I'm looking at let's say I'm looking at Carole King Jones' page, but I also want to look at the hints that are attached to him. So I could go ahead and tap that. And in this other page, if I just scroll across here like this, you can see I have another page here. So I'm going to go ahead and tap that tasks and go ahead and go to Carole King Jones. And if I come back down and scroll, you can see this becomes really quick and very handy if I'm looking at lots of different information with lots of different people. Especially in attaching records where you may need to look at somebody's family members on one screen and then look at the record on the other screen. So this is multiple screens, really nice when you're doing things like attaching records or need to do a lot of comparing of information.
Hey, thanks for watching, and we hope this was really helpful for you.
Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of RootsTech.
Bye.